Good morning. Today we will be discussing linear danger areas, or LDAs. A danger area is any place on a unit's route where the leader determines the unit may be exposed to enemy observation or fire. In other words, it is an area that lacks cover and concealment, but that you must traverse in order to complete the mission. Consequently, a linear danger area is a danger area that has a long axis where the enemy can concentrate their fires on your unit as you cross it. Examples of LDAs are roads, trails, rivers, or any type of natural or man-made feature where your unit may be observed crossing. Think of an LDA as a fatal funnel. In planning the team's route, the team leader must plan to avoid danger areas as much as possible. Crossing a danger area greatly increases the chances of observation and/or engagement by enemy forces. However, bypassing all danger areas, especially LDAs, during the mission is almost impossible. At some point, you will have to cross an LDA. Team leaders can coordinate indirect fires to support any deliberate LDA crossings. Advanced coordination and a detailed map reconnaissance are both effective means of risk management when crossing an LDA. LDAs have different classifications. They are either known, meaning that the team anticipates the crossing and has a deliberate plan in place to do so, or unknown, meaning that the team could not foresee the LDA's existence as it was not on the map or imagery. LDAs come in two types, man-made and natural. Man-made LDAs are more likely to have a threat presence than natural LDAs. LDAs can also be characterized by activity, as either active or inactive. Active LDAs have signs of recent use, such as tire tracks, trash, or footprints. Inactive LDAs do not display signs of recent use and can be crossed using a hasty LDA technique instead of a deliberate LDA technique. If dealing with a known LDA, the team plans for the crossing by designating three locations. First, the team designates a crossing point with a 6-digit grid and corresponding terrain feature. Next, the team designates a near-side rally point to use in case of compromise. The near-side rally point is identified by a grid location, terrain feature, and azimuth and distance from the crossing point. Finally, the team designates a far-side rally point. This rally point is identified with the same criteria as the near-side rally point, with a grid location, terrain feature, and azimuth and distance from the crossing point. A crossing point is just that, the exact place in the road or LDA that the team will cross. It is typically planned with a 6-digit grid to allow the team flexibility in determining the exact placement of the crossing point. Crossing points capitalize on the shape of the LDA and the surrounding terrain and vegetation to provide the least chance of enemy detection. Good crossing points include bends in the road, low-lying areas, the military crests of hills, and any area that can provide cover and concealment on both near and far sides. Conversely, poor places to cross the LDA are at road or trail intersections, at the long axis of a road, on hilltops, or any area where cover and concealment are insufficient. The other element of the LDA plan, the rally points, are used in the compromise plan during an LDA crossing. There are 5 rally point characteristics, and they are identical to the characteristics of an ORP. Remember, easy, away, provides. Rally points are easily defendable for a short period of time, away from natural lines of drift, away from high-speed avenues of approach, provide good cover and concealment from both ground and air, and provide little or no tactical value to the enemy. Pre-planned rally points, as described above, are only possible for known LDAs. In the case of unknown LDAs, the team will employ floating rally points. Floating rally points are positioned relative to the crossing point on the unknown LDA. The far side rally point will be 300 meters on mission azimuth from the crossing point. The near side rally point will be 300 meters on the back azimuth of the mission azimuth from the crossing point. A back azimuth is simply the opposite of the mission azimuth. It can be found by subtracting 180 degrees from angles greater than 180, or adding 180 degrees to angles less than 180. For example, if the mission azimuth is 270 degrees, the back azimuth would be 90 degrees. Conversely, if the mission azimuth is 90 degrees, the back azimuth would be 270. Rally points are employed when the team is compromised. If the team takes contact while conducting the LDA crossing, the team has 3 options. First, if feasible, the team leader can direct or react to contact into a team attack to kill the threat. If an attack is not feasible or outside of disengagement criteria, the team leader can direct or react to contact into a break contact. The team as a unit can all break contact to the near side rally point or the far side rally point. The worst case scenario is that the team is split into two elements by the LDA. For example, if a team is crossing an LDA and halfway through, a BMP armored fighting vehicle turns the corner and detects the saw gunner with his thermal sight and begins engaging the team will not be able to reconsolidate all to one side of the LDA. In this case, the team would immediately break contact away from the BMP, those on the far side of the road going to the far side rally point, and those on the near side of the road going to the near side rally point. Once they had consolidated at their rally points, the team will then establish contact via FM radio, and they will arrange to link up at a separate point determined by the team leader. Now that we've covered the basic elements of what an LDA is and the elements of an LDA crossing plan, we'll discuss the conduct of the crossing. The crossing begins as soon as the SSO identifies the LDA. He will give the signal for an LDA, which is a slashing motion from firing shoulder to non-firing hip, given by the non-firing hand. The team conducts a short halt, and the team leader moves up to the SSO to confirm the LDA. The team leader determines if the LDA is a known or unknown LDA by pinpointing the team's position. The team leader identifies the crossing point and identifies to the team the nature of the LDA. He then identifies the crossing point for the saw gunner and ATL, who move to the crossing point and pull near side security, facing out to the right and left. The security men will remain on a knee behind cover. If they identify a threat, they will immediately assume a prone position and begin to engage at the direction of the team leader. It is critical that team leaders continuously monitor the security men so that they know if visual contact is made. Once the security men are in place on the near side, the RTO and lead SO move to the far side and pull security to the right and left. As soon as they are in place, the SSO and team leader cross the road and clear 20 meters past the LDA, or however far they must clear in order to find cover and concealment. They halt and wait for the rest of the team. The team leader can remain with far side security if he desires more control over the element. Now that security is in place, each member of the team crosses the LDA. The ATL waits until all members besides him and the saw gunner are across. He then crosses with the saw gunner. As they pass the SO and RTO pulling far side security, the SO and RTO will move in front of the saw gunner and the ATL and move back to the rest of the team. The saw moves ahead of the ATL, who will always be in the rear to maintain accountability. The team will reconsolidate with the SSO and team leader on the far side of the LDA. Once the team is reconsolidated, the entire squad moves out on mission azimuth. Ultimately, in crossing an LDA, speed is security. The better rehearsed and the more efficiently executed the crossing, the less time that the team is exposed to danger, and the greater their chances of mission accomplishment. This presentation has addressed the following: the characteristics of LDAs, the planning considerations that the team uses in building the operations order, the planning and employment of the crossing point and near and far side rally points, the use of floating rally points for unknown LDAs, actions on contact, and the conduct of an LDA crossing. The following resources were used in preparing this presentation. Send any questions or comments to charlietrooptactics@outlook.com.